We're going to get a great version of Sal Pal today for the Christmas holidays because we're going to miss him next week on a Sal Pal Friday. But it is right now, and Sal Pal Friday is thanks to our good friends over there at the Griner team, the Burger Realty, Ocean City, Upper, all your real estate needs. They present to you this Sal Pal Friday here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. And here he is, ESPN's national NFL reporter, Sal Paolantonio, host of the Matchup Show, which dives into the Eagles, Cardinals. The NFC East is very interesting, Sal. We got meaningful football here in the NFC East in the month of December. How are you?
Days to you and everybody at your station, and of course, the loyal listeners to your beautiful show. And you know, when you look at the three teams left in the mix in the NFC East, they all have quarterback questions. It's clear to me that if Joe Judge had started Colt McCoy last week instead of Daniel Jones, the Giants would have won that game. Now you're looking at Washington football team without Alex Smith against Seattle having to play Dwayne Haskins. You're asking that defense that has been otherworldly to be cosmic, to be absolutely, once-in-a-lifetime defense against Russell Wilson in that game. I don't see it happening. And the Eagles making the switch to Jalen Hurts, game 2 in Arizona. We'll have to see what kind of things Doug Pederson dials up to make sure that Jalen Hurts is successful in his second start.
Now, he texted you, Doug, that he was looking for a spark. He obviously got the spark. So now what? Is this a week-to-week thing? Is this Jalen's job? They're in a weird spot here, Sal, and what did they learn about their rookie quarterback from last week's game?
Weird, odd, crazy, once-in-a-lifetime historical, a mess. You want to go on and on, we can go on and on. I'd like to text Doug Pederson and ask him this. What are you doing to make sure that Jalen Hurts is more successful in week 2 of his debut against the Arizona Cardinals? Because here's what I saw. I saw it in the binoculars, and then I saw it in the film study. Second half, Dennis Allen, defensive coordinator of the Saints, puts 9 guys on the line of scrimmage and dares Jalen Hurts to throw the football, throw his way out of trouble. He couldn't do it. Doug had no counter move. The offensive staff came up with no counter move. The Saints climbed back into the football game, and the Eagles nearly lose it, not because Jalen Hurts fumbled, but because they had 3 bad special teams plays in a row, and then an offense that was uncreative in their response to what the Saints did. So that's on film now, Mike, and it'll be up to Doug Pederson and this offensive staff to say, all right, we know they've got a good pass rush in Arizona. We know that our matchups stink because our secondary is hurt against Larry and DeAndre Hopkins. So what are we going to do so that Jalen Hurts can throw? We know he can run. What are we going to do so he can throw his way out of trouble?
Yeah, the 5.6 yards per attempt, he only completed about, 55%, which is about where Wentz was. The difference was his incompletions weren't because of inaccuracies. They were smart incompletions. So I guess that was somewhat encouraging. But you're right. They're going to have to dial up some more in the passing game. I don't know that you get 100 yards rushing from him week in and week out.
No, you're not going to. But, right, he had 14 design rushes for 56 yards. That's the most design rushes by a quarterback in an Eagles uniform since Donovan McNabb in the year 2000. So it's been 20 years. So, that's all well and good. But as I said, Dennis Allen caught up with them, made them try to throw the ball, and they couldn't do it. Here's the thing, though, right? He didn't throw an interception. He didn't take a sack. He had no negative plays.
Yeah.
He had the fumble late in the game. That was bad. That was horrendous. That almost cost him the game, almost cost him his debut. But he didn't have any. The throw to Alshon Jeffrey on 4th and 2 for a touchdown. If Carson Wentz is the quarterback, that's a sack.
Oh, yeah. And that's what I was saying, Sal, is his incompletion percentage was mainly because he made smart decisions to get rid of the ball. So I thought that was very astute from such a young guy to say there's nothing here. And that's been Wentz's biggest problem. Here's one difference, though. The run game, the fact that Sanders had the big run, other than Sanders' big run, he didn't do a whole heck of a lot, but they were more willing to stick with it. And I guess everyone had been asking, well, why wouldn't they do that for Wentz? Do you have a problem with the game plan they put out there for Hurts that they didn't do that for Wentz?
No, I mean, they just got religion. In fact, the bottom line is, and we all know football, Mike, if you have to dedicate a hat on defense to a running quarterback like Kyler Murray or Deshaun Watson or, Patrick Mahomes is not a running quarterback, or Cam Newton or somebody like that, or Jalen Hurts, if you got to dedicate a hat on defense to that guy running with the football, that means you can't double a wide receiver. That means you can't account for Miles Sanders in certain situations, and you're going to get defensive guys keying on Hurts and not Sanders. And that's going to leave the run game open. It's complimentary, simple football. And it was so simple, it was stupid. I was on your show last week, and didn't I say I liked the Eagles a lot in the game?
Yes.
And 90% of the money went to the Saints. I knew that the Eagles were going to be in that game. I actually picked them on ESPN on Sunday. And I'm just telling you, I just thought the Saints, 3 straight games on the road,
yep,
knowing they have Kansas City, knowing Drew Brees was coming back, that was they were ripe for the picking. And they were, hey, I talked to somebody who studies film much more than I do. And it was very evident while I was watching the game. Jalen Hurts was just fast. They had contain. They had him cut off. They had his escape routes cut off on the outside, and he outran it.
I'll tell you what, he did such a good job at reading what was there for him, both in the run game and in the pass game. It made a big difference. They gave him that spark. But obviously, this is a different situation because now they have the tape, as you just mentioned. They have the tape, and the Cardinals ranked 29th in yards per rush allowed to opposing quarterbacks. So you can do that again this week. You can, run the ball against this Cardinals defense. They had the pass rush. We saw Reddick last week had 5 sacks in the game. So I'm very interested in what they do with the game plan this week against the Cardinals. The problem will be, as you kind of mentioned, who the heck's going to cover in the secondary this week? They got nothing left.
Mike, just let Jalen be Jalen. It's enough. It was enough to beat the number 1 defense in the league last week. Yeah, I understand Saints were ripe for the picking. Eagles were home. Got to make a trip to Arizona. I get all that. It's enough. Just let Jalen be Jalen. Let him be creative. Let him run. Let him throw on the run. Whatever you do, don't have him sit back there. That 3rd and 4 that they had to have in the fourth quarter, he has him drop back and sit back there, and it was an incompletion and almost a pick 6. He has him on a 4th down, a quarterback sneak that everybody in the entire listening audience of your radio station knew was going to be a quarterback sneak. They knew it.
Sal Pal Friday here on the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN. I'm Mike Gill. What's going on with the fact? All right, so if Philly – last week they beat New Orleans. They got to travel here. This Cardinals team is they were leaking oil. They got the win last week, but is this a matchup where you see a path to victory?
Yes, I do. Let Jalen be Jalen. Just let him play. Dial up a lot of design runs like you had last week. 14, most since 2000 for a quarterback in an Eagles uniform. Give me more of that. Loosen up the defense. Put the fear of God in them. Jalen Hurts is fast. He's not Kyler Murray fast, but he's fast. Mm-hmm. And just it'll be enough to keep you in the football game. It's going to be an exciting game. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game, but I think it'll be an exciting game. This is the season right here.
No doubt.
Because Washington is going to lose to Seattle with Dwayne Haskins at the quarterback. That defense can't perform miracles. The Giants are going to lose to Cleveland. COVID has hit the team. Freddie Kitchens is calling the plays. Period, paragraph, new subject. Giants are going to lose. Washington's going to lose. Eagles win. The whole division is turned on its head, and we are headed for a showdown January 3rd at Lincoln Financial Field. Washington at Philadelphia.
Yeah,
the Eagles are going to win the game. They're going to win the game, Mike.
Right. If they win the game and the other 2 lose, you're a half game back with 2 to play. That tie comes back into play for you, and you have Washington on the schedule. Now, you're going to be at that Seattle-Washington game, and you mentioned no Alex Smith. You're going to get Haskins. And obviously, the one thing with the Seahawks have been very unpredictable. They played very good offensively. They were horrible defensively. Then their defense started to come around. Their offense started to take a break. They scored 40 last week, but that was against the Jets. So that Washington defense is very good.
It is very good. Jack Del Rio is blitzing 40% of the time in the last 4 games, all wins. They are using 5 defensive linemen on the line of scrimmage more than any other team. 5. That he trusts his D-line to get home to the quarterback. Here's the one thing that nobody's looking at, but I want your listening audience and you to look at. I had ESPN stats and information. Go deep dive into the schedule. And if you look at it, Seattle does not need this game. Their position in the playoff race doesn't change win or lose. Their next game decides everything. So I don't know how motivated they're going to be to win this game. That's the real wild card here. And if Washington just pulls it out somehow and the Eagles lose, season's over.
That's it, right?
And we're talking quarterback controversy until March 1st.
Right. In fact, I believe, according to the stats and information, that if that's the case, the Eagles would be officially eliminated with a Washington win and a Philly loss. And then, now you're talking about, and here's the problem, do you evaluate?
And then here's what we're doing, Mike. Then we're getting on a plane, and we're saying to James Harden, James, what do we got to do to put you in a Sixers uniform?
So you're on board. You're on board with that trade?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Not even close. Get Harden in here. You can put the ball in the hole. Come on now. We need points.
Now, if Harden was in the locker room and you were talking to him, I would be sure to videotape that. It's a Sal Pal Friday here. As we know, Eagles and the Cardinals, it's coming up on Sunday right here on 97.3 ESPN. We got the Sixers, of course, getting ready to start their season. There's a lot going on, but the Eagles want to play meaningful football after this, Sal. So I'll finish with this. Do we get more meaningful football games, or is this it?
We're going to get more, Mike. I'm going to predict they're going to win the game 23-20.
Well, 23-20, Jake Elliott. He's been very inconsistent, but he gets a little redemption here, you think?
Yeah, indoors. He's okay indoors.
22-yarder last week. Bupkis. Unbelievable.
I know, bad. Hey, listen, shout out to Johnny G, Griner Team, Berger Realty, Ocean City, New Jersey. Happy holidays to everybody at Berger Realty. Happy holidays to everybody at this station, to your listeners. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to all my fans in Delaware. Tommy and his mom are listening right now. Everybody up and down the shore from Ocean City, Maryland, all the way up to Belmar. I hear they hear you in Belmar, New Jersey. So
we're way out there, man.
Oh, man, I love it. I absolutely love it. Absolutely. And stay positive, test negative, and I'll talk to you on the flip side of Christmas, brother.
All right, Sal Pal Friday here on the Sports Bash on 97.3 ESPN. The Cardinals enter the week with a 56% chance of making the playoffs. That is according to the FPI. They have a 65% chance at making the playoffs with a win on Sunday. They have a 25% chance with a loss. No team, Broads, has a larger swing in the chances of making the playoffs more than the Cardinals do. So this is a huge game for the Cardinals this week.